So the next video I want to do is discussing hip speed. And let me define what, hip speed is. Really what I mean by this is how much rotation is in your hips as you're hitting the ball in relation to your target. You'll see different golfers like Rory McIlroy's, Hunter Mahan's, guys like that, who have an incredible amount of rotation in their lower half as they're hitting the ball. And this is, this is them tapping into that rotational power that I have discussed. They have a wonderful ability to stay in their spine angle, and this makes it easy for them to shallow out the club because their hips are so rotated and open to the target. Now, for other golfers like, say, a Geoff Ogilvy or a Hugo Leon, their hips aren't quite as, as fast, and they don't rotate as much in the swing. So what guys like this do is, at impact, they're actually starting to release their posture a little bit and work up the way. So when they get to the top of their swing, they're going to let their hands drop, and then once their hands get down to around here, you're going to see a little bit of this. And down the line, you'll see that their hips won't be that open, but their spine angle will have been released a lot. And I do think you have to be careful when you're listening to the commentators on TV. They're always referring to how everyone stays in their spine angle, but you got to be careful. Those guys have got incredible rotational speed in their swing, and that's what allows them to do it. I would suggest that you do go check out a Geoff Ogilvy or a Hugo Leon. Hugo Leon actually is probably one of the longest hitters on the web.com tour, so it's not a negative thing to actually have what we would determine as slower hips or hips that haven't rotated as much. We just have to tap into generating power a little bit differently. So now that we have a better understanding of what rotational power versus vertical power is, I am going to focus a little bit more on vertical because, I think a lot of people who are going to buy this is going to be more geared towards the ones who are sitting in the office for 40 hours a week and who come out and are very, very tight in their hips, also for retired golfers. So this is going to be more beneficial for you. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard in golf that you need to keep your head down. And to be quite honest, nothing could be further from the truth. Like we talked about earlier, in order to generate power, we all do it differently. And a lot of us have to actually release our posture as we're hitting in order to generate power. I have a lot of golfers come to me and they say, oh, I'm coming up, I feel I'm coming out of my posture. But really what's happening is that those people are tapping into that vertical power. And actually, I would encourage you to embrace it and go with it. What we have to really talk about is the timing of it all. And we will discuss that in the next segment in transition. But, I see a lot of golfers come to me and they're like, okay, I'm going to keep my head down. And they do something like this and they catch the ball heavy. When we're coming up, we're actually creating room for the club to shallow out. So I see a lot of golfers who come to me who have a chicken wing. And what a chicken wing is that at impact, their elbows are too bent. And one of the reasons they are bent is because they have to create room somehow for the club to hit the ball without it digging in the turf. They're trying to stay in their posture for too long, and the only way they can avoid burying the club in the ground is to bend their elbow, especially their left elbow for a right-handed golfer. So I also want to let you know that one of the keys to actually generating distance is actually having your arms very, very straight at impact and just after impact. This is what is going to help you get maximum force into the back of the ball and get you hitting it longer. So I know in this segment I've given you a lot of information, but I did want to discuss it so that, when we lead into the next video and we talk about transition, you will have a good concept of how to generate power and how you can then apply it to your transition.